Right now at WBAP, it's 80 degrees.
Edwin Walker joins us right now. He's an attorney and an expert on gun laws. We thought we'd reach out to Edwin to talk about the differences between the four proposals that were in front of the Senate yesterday. The four amendments all failed. Two from the Republicans, two from the Democrats. Is there any common ground here, Edwin, that we may see come up in the future?
You know, the four proposals by the Republicans, I think, were the closest to any kind of common ground that could have been reached, because the Republican bills basically said, look, we don't really believe in these things that the Democrats are supporting, but we would like to put in some due process security measures for these, and the Democrats wouldn't buy off on it. I mean, it's just shocking to think that, that the Democrats, who are supposed to be all in favor of, preserving your rights and limiting government and preserving due process, would be against due process. The key is that no Democrats believe that your right to purchase and possess firearms are in fact a constitutional right, and that's the biggest danger that you can take away from this. What happened yesterday?
We had some audio last week from Senator Manchin in West Virginia, where he essentially came out and said the thing that's killing us right now is due process, which I thought was interesting to hear from a senator, that the issue is actually due process, which we live by that, don't we?
Yes, and due process is a word that gets thrown around a lot, and I know a lot of people don't understand what it means, but basically due process simply says that the government, the all-powerful government, does not have the ability to take away somebody's fundamental rights without at least giving them notice and the opportunity to be heard. And so, it's been part of our fabric since the founding of this country. And it's very important, regardless of whether you're talking about your right to stay out of prison, your right to free speech, or your right to practice your religion, or your right to purchase and possess firearms. But like I said, that's one of the key things that we need to remember, is that the Democrats, the people who voted, and which this split nearly perfectly down party lines. There were, I believe, one Democrat who went over, and I think two Republicans who went over. But that you have to remember that that's an almost majority of the Senate that does not believe that you have a right, that it is in fact a constitutional right to purchase and possess firearms. And unfortunately, there were 4 votes on the Supreme Court justices who also did not believe that. And that's why that 5th vote that will be coming in Justice Scalia's place, who was probably the most, he wrote the Heller decision, so he was the most zealous advocate for Second Amendment rights, unfortunately passed away early this year, and the person who fills his vacancy will decide this issue for as long as they maintain that 5-vote majority on the court.
Edwin Walker's going to be fun to watch. Thanks for the insight here this morning. 7:56 at WBAP.